The next game, again, just like the Fischer-Reshevsky, it's one of those when two world-class famous grandmasters play each other. It's one of those rare occurrences that shows that even a world champion can have a bad day. White is Larry Christiansen, black is Anatoly Karpov.
White starts with d4.
Next to the king-pawn start with e4, this is the second most common starting move in chess.
Black responds with knight to f6, c4.
These are standard beginning moves, controlling the center.
e6.
Here black has two choices to develop the bishop, either on this diagonal, like in this game, or to fianchetto it through g7.
And now white's played knight to f3.
Here white has again choices. One is to play knight c3, which is a main move, allowing the so-called Nimzo Indian, or to avoid it and play knight f3.
Black develops b6.
This is the Queen's Indian defense.
White plays a3.
This strange looking move was popularized by former world champion Tigran Petrosyan. The idea of the move is to avoid this bishop coming to b4, in most cases when it would come here, let's say, to pin the knight, or trying to make double pawns. Not that it's that dangerous that it's needed to be avoided, it's just an option, matter of taste, whether you like it or not, but Garry Kasparov liked it for many years and the other world champions, but it's matter of fashion. As of currently, it's not the most fashionable line, but it's a well-playable line for white.
Black plays bishop to a6.
Here black has a choice to develop the bishop to a6 or b7. Both are equally playable. The idea of coming to a6 is kind of interesting, trying to provoke the knight to protect the pawn on c4, and then often the bishop actually just retreats to b7, because the ideal setup for white would be to have the knight on c3 and come to play e4 and all of that. So black is even willing to waste a move in order to kind of create a disharmony in the white camp.
White protects the pawn with queen to c2.
This move protects the pawn and also at the same time prepares the advancement of the e-pawn with e4.
And now black retreats the bishop to b7.
Just like in the previous variation I mentioned, when the knight protected the pawn on c4, here also black willingly goes back, wasting a tempo, considering that the queen is in a worse place on c2 than it would be on d1. The reason why that may be the case is because soon the black rook may get to c8 and get c5, and the c file may open and the queen really may get in some danger there.
And white continues the development with knight to c3.
White proceeds with the plan. The goal is to get to play e4 and to have a full control of the center.
c5.
Black needs to do something also in the center. Another move is to play d5 to prevent d4. c5 is kind of trying to counterattack from the side, allowing e4.
White develops with e4.
So white ignores black's counterplay and goes ahead with his own plan, e4.
C takes d4.
The first trade in the game.
Knight takes d4.
The only logical response.
And black develops the other knight to knight to c6.
Black developed and attacks the white knight. Now white knight needs to either move or to be protected.
Knight takes c6.
White decided to trade.
And black captures back the knight with bishop takes c6.
So far everything is going in a normal way, happened in hundreds of games between grandmasters.
Bishop to f4.
This is a very logical move because the weak square, the weak point in black's position here is on d6. So if white is able to, let's say after castling, double up and put more pressure on the d file, it's certainly a target. So the bishop on f4 looks pretty good.
Knight to h5.
No wonder black does not like that bishop there, and even by putting the knight temporarily on the edge of the board, by all means want to chase the bishop away from there.
White retreats the bishop to e3.
And this was the critical moment of the game.
Black played bishop to d6.
Well, in this moment, Karpov played one of the worst mistakes of his life, I would say. It's very, very rare that he would make such a one-move blunder. The normal moves here are either bishop to c5, offering a trade, or queen to b8, I guess preparing the move bishop d6. And now, I recommend take a moment and try to figure out why Karpov's last move was a losing mistake.
Queen to d1.
Such an innocent looking little move. Double attack on the bishop and on the knight. Karpov sadly had to realize what happened and resigned immediately. In this game we saw two well-known grandmasters, even a world champion, making such a blunder in one move. What happened? Well, I suppose he mixed up a move order. I bet if he would have thought for a few minutes, he would not play bishop d6 and lose a piece in one move. So when you think you remember a variation and you're following your opening preparation, don't just play out the moves in 2 seconds a move, because you never know. You may have a mix-up and make a wrong order of moves and end up losing a game without ever having a chance.